So I've seen folks talk about immigration. Since Donald Trump, I've heard Republicans talk about it a long time. Donald Trump really brought that to the forefront. I've seen people go down on the border. You actually filed a lawsuit and won on immigration. What did that actually mean for folks in Missouri?
Yeah, so President Trump had a very successful remain in Mexico policy. What is that? It meant that Mexico was the waiting room. So if you're coming here seeking asylum, by the way, 9 out of 10 asylum claims are bogus, you would get a court date, but you weren't across the border here, released into the interior United States, never to be seen again. That's what Joe Biden brought back. So we went into court and said, Joe Biden, you can't do that. The Supreme Court of the United States agreed with Missouri and Texas on that in a 6-3 ruling. So the Remain in Mexico policy is back in effect. In fact, they tried to mess around with it. They tried to balk. We went back in court, and this week they're reinstating Remain in Mexico. And I think that's the difference. A lot of people talk about stuff. We're actually going and taking action, getting results. We also filed a lawsuit to finish the border wall. Look, almost $4 trillion has been appropriated by Congress. I went down to the border. I talked to those Border Patrol agents. What they tell me is that the cartels are running the show. They have to put schools on lockdown in places like El Paso when they're crossing over. But in many ways, they're just passing through, Scott. They're making their way to Kansas City and St. Louis through these cartel networks.
Where they're making their way to. Cameron Gerber reported in the Missouri Times. They're making their way to O'Fallon. What happens if you're a Missourian and you see a group of folks and you think it's probably illegal immigrants? And some of these folks work 12, 14 hours a day. They're folks you'd want to come into the state and be Missourians, but not mistreated. What can someone do if they see that happening now?
Report it to the Department of Labor. That's one thing that people can do. And so, you know, if there are referrals to our office, we're always going to take action. That comes from any agency if it's credible. So, but I think, look, taking on the problem of illegal immigration is important. It's a safety issue. There's human trafficking and human smuggling involved, massive drug trafficking that's taking place. So to have a secure border means a lot because guess what? Every state's a border state now.
It is really interesting. Folks, this video we obtained, they cracked down in Texas so folks move further north. Every state has become a border state. That's an interesting perspective. I think that's actually real life.
Well, people ask, why is Missouri involved in these lawsuits? First of all, we've made it a point to take on human trafficking. We led a multi-state coalition that led to dozens and dozens of arrests and rescued people. Okay, so we care about human trafficking in the state, and it's everywhere now. And when you have a porous, open border, like I guess evidently the left actually wants, that's not who we are. I mentioned the government of limited powers, which is what the federal government is supposed to be. One of the things they're actually supposed to do is secure the border.
I hear a lot of Republicans talk about immigration now. Do you believe if they found credible instances of illegal immigration brought to a place, say like O'Fallon, do you think Republicans actually mean it or are they just talking?
I would hope so. I would hope so.